Hi, Laurie. How are you?
Good morning, Glenn.
How are things?
Things are great.
I'm
so excited about the show tonight.
I'm thrilled to have you on the show. Tell me what you found different about this approach, if anything, from the news that you have done over the years, and also what you learned from this experience.
I learned a lot from this experience. I thought I had a pretty good handle on the NSA warrantless surveillance controversy, but I didn't until I started going through and watching the incredible interviews that had been put together very carefully by the producers and the people who worked on this for months. And I have to give a shout out to the crew. They were fantastic. They were so professional, so fun to work with. Joe Weasel, Kate Wilkie, Nick Jones, the cameraman, Ryan Koss, the producer. It's just fantastic stuff. And I think this is going to open a lot of people's eyes. I mean, Glenn, your viewers already know that what happened in the wake of 9/11 has been illegal and unconstitutional. But I think, just like Rand Paul was, people will be absolutely shocked to know that things have gotten even less transparent in the last 10 years. There's even more surveillance going on than ever before. There is a giant facility being built in Utah right now that's 100,000 square feet. It's in the town of Bluffdale. And it is being built for the sole purpose of storing information about you, information about me, information about anybody and everybody. We're talking about your banking records, your credit card records, Twitter, Facebook, emails, you name it. And this is all being done in the name of protection, in the name of keeping us safe. But it's scary stuff when you think about it.
You know what's really incredible to me is that they still are saying on these things that, well, no, it's not. This is not for the average American. This is not. They're still denying it, and this documentary shows how they denied certain things early on, right after 9/11, and then they got caught in it, and so then they later come out and say, okay, yes, we're doing that, but we're not doing this, and then they get caught in that, and they're like, okay, but we're not doing this. I mean, it's amazing when you track it from September 11th to today. You can see how the lie just never stops.
And that's what you get when you watch the show tonight. You see a fully developed story that takes place over a full hour. I mean, that's the great thing about this show that your viewers, I think, will really enjoy, is that we have a full hour to tell the story. We have the luxury of time, that this is old-fashioned reporting, and that there's no agenda here. But we feel like people need to know what's going on, that billions of dollars have been spent since 9/11. I mean, after 9/11, the spigots just opened. Money just continued to flow in to the NSA. The NSA got everything it wanted, and the taxpayers basically got taken to the cleaners.
Yeah, it was really frightening to hear the people at the NSA say that the comment was, the good news is 9/11 has just given us the ability to get anything we want done. I mean,
right.
That's really frightening stuff.
I mean, they acknowledged that 9/11 was a gift to them. And as you said earlier, the leadership at the NSA went into complete denial about the amount of money that was wasted. And what we learn in this is that the hero, if you will, of the story, the protagonist here is a guy named Thomas Drake, who's formerly with the NSA, and he's the whistleblower in all this. That, he says that after 9/11, we became a foreign nation, basically, for the purposes of vast dragnet electronic surveillance. And he wanted to blow the whistle here. He approached General Hayden, who was then running the NSA, and said, do you have a warrant for this stuff? Because he knew that what was going on was in direct violation of the Constitution, direct violation of the Fourth Amendment and the Fifth Amendment. And General Hayden admitted that the surveillance was being done without a warrant. But that wasn't the end of it. Thomas Drake decided to blow the whistle on the corruption and the fraud and the waste and the abuse within the NSA. And guess what happened? He was indicted on 10 felony counts under the Espionage Act, and his life was ruined. He ended up being vindicated, which is the great part of the story.
He's now working at an Apple store.
Exactly. He can't get a job. I mean, that's what's so scary here. And I think that people who didn't know Thomas Drake before are really going to have their eyes opened here. And
then, you know what? If you have control, and then on top of it, you have control of that vast amount of information, we all will be lucky to have jobs at Apple stores if you fall on the wrong side of the people in power. They'll destroy you. And that's what this shows. They'll destroy your life.
Well, that's exactly what happened to Thomas Drake. And who knows what would happen to other people. And I think what's very chilling at the end of the show is that we don't know. We talk about how we don't know exactly what the NSA is doing with these facilities, but we do know that given the capabilities of these facilities, there's a real threat that they're using this to store all of your intimate information, and we don't know what they're going to do with it.
Well, I will tell you this: anybody who stands against it in government, good luck. You better be Jesus clean to stand against it, because they will assemble information from the beginning of time on you, and you're just not going to be able to go. You know, remember the days of Hoover? Everybody says Hoover was a bad guy. He had a list, and he had pictures and everything else that he gathered on people, and so he had power over people. The NSA is going to be the one that controls the United States of the government, the United States of America, and the rest of the world, because they'll have all of the information, and they'll be calling the shots. Laurie, you were at Fox for a long time. You're a veteran journalist, and we miss seeing you on TV. I'm glad to have you a part of For the Record and a part of The Blaze. What is in your estimation, because I know you go around and you're consulting a lot of people in journalism, what is the state of journalism when we have what's his name, Bob Woodward, coming out last week, and then a woman coming out but not having her name identified at all, and nobody really taking a stand and saying, I've been called the C word and everything else by this administration, and nobody really says anything. Nothing is done. What is the state of journalism in America?
I wish I had a pat answer for you. I don't. I think journalism, we're at a crossroads, I feel like, in a lot of ways. And I felt that way for a while, which is why I'm so glad to be getting the opportunity to work with you on this project. I think that journalism, at least in the 20-some years since I've been out of college, since I started my career, journalism has changed dramatically. And it seems to be no longer about doing the homework necessary to really get into the story and do it without an agenda. I think if you look at the newspapers, they mostly slant left, some slant right. And if you watch TV, well, we know that when you're watching the cable networks, they're either to the right or to the left. No one's really reporting down the middle. That's what I find so shocking. But I think that people have become numb to it, that they sort of expect that it's going to be more opinion and more entertainment. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing entertainment stories, but it's not news. And I think what I find here is just kind of a shocking lack of commitment to making sure that you're telling the whole story. And that's what we're doing on the show tonight.
Laurie Dhue, thank you very much. We'll watch for you tonight at 8 o'clock. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Glenn. It was a great experience. Thank you so much.
God bless. Laurie Dhue, For the Record tonight, the host, and she's amazing, and amazing in this documentary. And this one, hopefully it will be a shock to your friends when they see it and they see, whoa, we take on this administration and the last administration. Republicans and Democrats, they're both damned.
And if you want to sign up to see it, you go to
TheBlaze.com/TV.